Welcome to Success Superstars, episode 225, your place for inspiration and the blueprint of success for peak performers just like you. And my special guest, Sharon Hyres. Sharon, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, it's glad to be here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the markets you serve.
I currently serve, maybe I should back up. I've been selling real estate for about 21 years. Started in Florida, Orlando mainly, the Orlando area, Central Florida, and went through the last kind of crazy market. So now I'm looking forward to seeing how this one balances out. And now I'm actually a broker in Florida and South Carolina for JPAR Magnolia Group.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've seen markets in 21 years. You've seen them up, down, sideways, and in every which way. How does this compare to all the other market turmoils you've seen?
Well, it's similar in some ways. And by that, I mean, nobody seems to be satisfied, whether it's the seller, whether it's the buyer. There's not really a satisfaction on either side. And I saw that in the last market as well, where the sellers felt like maybe I sold too low, even though they're way over list price right now. And the buyers feel like, how many of these things do I have to go bid to actually win? And so I think there's a little bit of dissatisfaction. That's a little bit the same. The difference is I'm not seeing the lending issues that we had in the last problems with the market.
Yeah, the lending standards are pretty tight. And now, are you having to spend more time educating, informing, hand-holding your clients?
Yes, and I think it's important to do that, but I don't think there's still the understanding. You can explain, but I think they have to experience it to actually believe it. I'm working with some veterans and some, we call them heroes, firefighters, policemen, and recently I just had a state trooper, and he was first-time home buyer. And with that first-time home buying, we try to tell him what to expect, what's happening in the market. But I think until he actually walked through it, he actually told me it shocked him, you know, that there was, first of all, that there were so many steps, but also there were so many pitfalls that he could have. And you do try to tell them, and thank goodness you do that ahead of time. But the warning doesn't really always equate to reality until they actually experience it.
Yeah. Isn't that so true in almost everything in business and life? You have to experience it. And once you've experienced it firsthand, but what a joy to have someone of your professional stature, of your experience, to help guide them through that, even though they have to go through that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I do believe that the education part, I never stop on that. I keep always wanting to learn a little bit more because I feel like that's how we bring value to our clients. So I'm just always reaching out for more education.
Yeah. Now, do you find it's different in some ways working with first-time home buyers and newer homeowners than the more experienced person who's maybe bought 3, 4, or 5 homes?
It's definitely different. The people that have bought several homes, they're still not used to this market unless they went through the last one that was strange. They think they know, though, from their last experience. So there's still some education.
Right.
And the first-time home buyers, at least they're wide-eyed and what can you teach me? That's the type of people they are.
Yeah. Now, Sharon, if there was one tool, one resource that I took away from your tool bag and that you would say you absolutely can't live without, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, I almost went through it completely with COVID. I like to be face to face, person to person. The internet, of course, I probably couldn't exist without the internet now because we don't have big books anymore that people come in and look through the books. So the internet probably is the first thing because we actually need people everywhere to see our listings and for us to show listings. But the other part is face-to-face interaction is crucial to me. Knowing people so they know, like, and trust you is important. And I don't know how they do that without actually meeting you and going over everything with you.
So the initial consult and the face-to-face meetings are super important to you.
Yes.
Well, what advice would you give our audience as you navigate the upcoming spring and summer market? What's your biggest piece of advice for folks?
I think that the biggest thing is to understand their feelings, get down to what their goals are, meaning when, and then tell them, okay, here's the things that we may experience, but also to actually care. And what I'm seeing a lot in the market is speed, 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 hurry, hurry, hurry. And I feel like care about the end result for the client you're representing, and maybe take a little bit of time to say, let's make sure now. And I guess caring, and that's one of the big things about me, is that I try to think about me second always, and them first, because this is their goals. This is the biggest purchase most of them ever make, and this is their goals.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there we go. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. And Sharon, thank you so much for pouring into us today. Can't wait to have you back again and have you on the Morning Club.
Thank you very much.
Now, are you going to be joining us for our economic update with Keeping Current
Yes.
Matters today?
Yes, I am. I use Keeping Current Matters. That's a great system.
It really is. That's one, if I took away from you, you'd be upset about.
I would be upset about that one. That one I use frequently. I mean, regularly.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, that's a wrap, and we'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. Take care.